You may begin.
I can begin?
Yep.
The challenge of investigative psychology is to understand the underlying coherence, the details of specific patterns of offending actions. This quote from Cantor and Young's article, Narratives of Criminal Actions and Decision-Making, is a good quote to describe criminal psychology. Criminal psychologists, in and of themselves, are what we need to stop those who mean to do harm to others through means of arson or serial killers. But first, what is a criminal psychologist? If you have watched Criminal Minds or Silence of the Lambs, then you may already have an idea of what criminal psychologists do. A criminal psychologist is someone who addresses the mental state of an individual who has committed a criminal offense. They use methods such as profiling and often ask questions concerning case to help better discern the type of criminals they are facing. There are many questions, but some that they use include: what triggered the suspect to carry out on Sundays and not others? What type of victims do the suspect target? Does the suspect have some sort of psychological issue? With each question in mind, criminal psychologists help solve many cases this murderer and other criminals carry out. And even though they help with crimes, they also help with serial crimes, like serial killings. When thinking of crime, most people think of murders, but there is a murder that gets worse with each number of victims that the suspect takes, which is called serial murder. Serial murder is the taking of more than 3 lives in a span of time, like months or years. Some of the more famous killers are Jeffrey Dahmer and Jack the Ripper. Criminal psychologists must take precaution and act fast to apprehend the suspect because they do not know what caused the suspect to kill and take the lives of their victims. This is because there are many factors at play when thinking of why this person would take other people's lives. He could be suffering from some type of psychological issue and should be admitted to a psychiatric ward to get help. There is also the fact that he is thinking of himself as other than what he truly is, a monster. The focus on offenders' accounts of a particular crime allows the development of a standard pro forma, which deals with the roles a person thinks they play when committing the crime. This quote from paragraph 2 of Cantor and Young's Narratives of Criminal Action Decision-Making proves that there is indeed some messed up perceptions that criminals have of themselves. There have been cases of the suspect thinking of themselves as better than their victims, or themselves have been neglected and carrying that out on their victims. And it could be because of a goal. It has long ago been recognized that human behavior is largely directed by goals, and that goals can have a strong influence on cognitive processes. The suspect could be driven so much that all his rules, all his ideals, were completely abandoned to finish his goal. Now that you know more about what criminal psychologists do, you may be asking yourself, why do I want to hear this? I asked around dorms, and I was surprised about how many people want to go into the criminal justice department. But if this is not for you, I have also chosen this one to truly let you understand how many killers are out there. Please take out the handout. This handout shows you how many serial killers are out there over the decades. As you can see, there hasn't been many killings until the 1980s. This is where it spikes to over 200 serial killings or serial killing teams. And even though the numbers may have decreased, there is still a large amount of serial killers today. And no one can stop them, then criminal psychologists and the others helping to help criminal psychologists fight crime. Criminal psychologists in and of themselves are what we need to stop those who mean to do harm through means of serial killings and other means. They help us and stop those with criminal intent. This is why I want to become a criminal psychologist.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you very much. Okay.